beloved Rapture now has a demo for you to try, and actually a release window of Q2 2024. Yes, we thought the game was due on April, but developers just came up with the word that it's delayed by a month. The Game of Talking, in case you missed it, is obviously it's a turn-based RPG classic. Actually, it's a Kickstarter project from the same publishers of Dead State, and it's a story-heavy game in nature with like LGBTQ themes and characters approved. Not only just that, it's actually inspired by Chrono Trigger and, most of 90s gems. Bloomtown now has a release window of summer 2024, right? It's coming to PCs, Switch, and also every other platform on its release day. If you miss it, well, Bloomtown, over here a different story, is a turn-based RPG adventure. Basically, it's a mix of creature collecting, decision-making sections with story cutscenes and whatnot, and it's a RPG adventure, just entirely. I highly recommend you keep an eye on this one if you have grew up and enjoyed playing games such as Earthbound. Sitting on Steam in early access for almost 6 years now, Heartbound is a story-driven RPG adventure just the same, possibly a genre-defying one. Most of you have seen games time to time that kind of like offers an entire different approach to your usual go-to genre, and Heartbound sits literally at the top of the charts within its structure. For example, every enemy you encounter along the way has a unique mini-game that you have to just deal with in order to defeat. The story's outcome is also entirely up to you. It's funny, unpredictable as hell, and super rich in story. Easily a 10 out of 10. Coming out on May 16, possibly early access first. Number 4, we have Realm of Ink. I tried its demo on Steam if you like what you see here, but first things first, it's an action RPG reminiscent of games such as Hades, and you have the option to choose one of 3 different characters with distinct features. Realm of Ink is a single player game and actually has a different path for each character with more advanced weapons to pick up along the way, like the Onimusha games or the God of War. It's coming to PCs, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X later this year. Number 5, we have Alterium Shift, made specifically with the key element being its branching story and narrative. This is a retro-inspired JRPG that supposedly offers a new adventure with every single playthrough. We are totally hyped about this one to have just more taste of the action of itself. If you've ever found a Super Nintendo RPGs in games like Grandia, well, this game is also the same experience, and if you want, there's a free demo for you to try on Steam. Moving on to number 6, we have Sword of Convallaria. Mentioned the game many times before, already been in alphas and a few betas and even mobile releases, now finally coming to PCs exclusively, no longer consoles. Sword of Convallaria has been, ever since 2 years ago, actually one of the most appealing, well-made turn-based tactical pixel art games possibly of all time, which now actually has a certified English version when it's due later on in the year.
あなたよく頑張りました。
やるべきことはまだいくらでもある。悪くない選択だ。
一つ一つが大事な選択です。最後まで皆さんと共に戦います。
すでに選んだようですね。
この平和な世界のために。
Guild Saga is coming to PCs in about 3 months from now. In fact, on August 8th. The release is no longer April, I mean, we're past that. And right now, there's a free demo for you to try on Steam too. But that being said, well, Guild Saga Vanished Worlds over here is a classic tactical turn-based RPG, well, also reminiscent of many old school games such as Dragon Quest or Baldur's Gates, where you have to assemble your party, choose paths, and find your way across the world eventually.
Of danger and mystery, puzzles, traps, and dungeons lurk behind every corner.
If you like creature collecting games, we have a adventure one with a pretty interesting little twist going by the name Portal Fantasy. Now, Portal Fantasy, you see, doesn't just throw you in the middle of this whole story alone, but it actually lets you chat and hang out with other players as you go through your adventures. It's a multiplayer game optionally, has a huge world to explore, alongside a heck of a lot of quests, as developers put it.
And discover. Oh, this world is filled with vicious battles. Ha! On guard! Give those foul demons no quarter. The winner thrives and the loser dies. Ooh, actually, I'll capture that little guy. Welcome to the team, buddy. Collect loot to upgrade your lifestyle. Where was he keeping all that stuff? And check your lethal collection. Call your friends over for a delightful tea party in the garden. And then smash, bash, and wipe the floor with them so much they'll need lie-down therapy. So, if you desire adventure, monsters, loot, pixels, intrigue, PvP, PvE, multiplayer, chat shinies, strategy puzzles, battles, quests, story, cool art, and really cool hair, then do not resist the siren call of Portal Fantasy.
The Nameless Slay Dragon, number 9. We're not sure if it'll be a full English release when it's due, but it's an honorable mention on our list as it's fresh and a really decent project amongst the rest. Developers of this game have described it as a gamebook adventure, turn-based RPG, in which you will play as a young man who seems to be in a pickle with a dragon. I'm not really sure why, but you can play this game's demo on Steam if you like. The full game is coming out to PCs and Switch only.
Wish city where everyone gets busy, cause minimum wage here is something like
A quick mention over here, the trailer I think is at least a sight to be seen. My Familia, first I mentioned her also, is a 90s inspired noir story-driven RPG with turn-based mechanics, where its developer said, in this game you wake up as a familiar on the streets of a city called Wish, where like corruption just couldn't go any higher. I don't know, maybe a little bit like Hotline Miami, in looks at least. Definitely Final Fantasy in combat. This game is coming to PCs exclusively, and there's a free demo for you to try.
So the devil's nectar with the sin all on their lips. Got the nerve to wanna kiss. You ain't never seen a town more desolate than this. Yeah. Need help, police is getting busier. You better call up my familiar, cause these streets is getting grittier, and they about to tear the whole city up. F-A-M-I-L-I-A-R, yeah, they know who we are, yeah. F-A-M-I-L-I-A-R, yeah, cause they know who we are. I heard Mr. D took a spill, man, upon first look, he was clumsy and slipped, or was he actually pushed? There's no probable cause that says he broke any laws. Now he's cracked out on the street, shell covered in gauze. The higher you climb, it's the harder you fall. They can't protect your rights if they don't exist at all. Man, another day in Wish City where the poor get ignored and the rich get busy. Guilty till proven wealthy in these courts. So we don the cake to give much needed support. And I can guarantee in the end, victory won. Get familiar with familiars, we get the job done. Yeah. Need help, police is getting busier. You better call up my familiar, cause these streets is getting grittier, and they about to tear the whole city up. F-A-M-I-L-I-A-R, yeah, they know who we are, yeah. F-A-M-I-L-I-A-R, yeah.
Core Keeper is a survival sandbox game, currently in early access and said to be coming to Switch and other consoles as well, late 2024. That's pretty much all we know about the dates. Now, in simple terms, if you're looking for just a pixelated sandbox game and just like had enough of Minecraft and Stardew Valley also, you might want to go ahead and give this one a shot. It's actually a co-op survival adventure game in nature that offers hundreds of hours of replay, they said, and this is just how it looks. Number 12, we have Quartet, right? I think it's one of the most handsome Final Fantasy style classic RPGs in the making, with a very vibrant design and a pretty crisp gameplay to offer, and it's also coming from a Kickstarter campaign that's fully funded. The game is said to offer 4 very distinct stories that all end up completing each other along the way. It's a turn-based RPG adventure, as you can see. You can actually try its demo on Steam for free, and it's a PC exclusive. The World of Anterra was announced around the same time, I think last year, through a Kickstarter, and ever since it's also been one of the much awaited pixel art games, right alongside other big games such as Replaced, the Microsoft exclusive. Anyway, the difference between these, I think, is that World of Anterra is a rather modern classic, it's a highly interactive game, and it's also non-linear. It is actually set in an open world with RPG elements. Like developers have said, it features an endlessly free-to-explore open world progression system, a fast-paced combat, and some very rich lore. That's it, we're still waiting on a release date. Sitting on Steam through early access, rated a 10 out of 10. On pretty much all critical websites, if you missed it over here, Into the Necrovale is an action roguelike role-playing game, kinda like Diablo, but definitely bringing the best of all AAA in this genre. For example, Hades, Death Must Die. However, Necrovale is said to offer only 6 hours of campaign, some folks have actually finished it in 2, but the full game is said to be coming to PCs exclusively with more of the same around September this year. Here's a new trailer. Coming in at number 15, we have Dark Deity 2. I believe we mentioned this one maybe once. It's pretty much a cloned off turn-based RPG strategy from the Fire Emblems with a medieval and western backdrop, blend and setting, not to mention the sequel of a very well received IP. Now we're just offering a bigger world, a longer campaign alongside new characters, actually twice the size of the characters the first game had to offer. Not just the characters, but also twice the size of the characters' classes. That's rich. Rabbit and Steel, on the other hand, is actually a bullet hell and a co-op roguelike with MMO elements, and that's kind of an odd combination indeed, but believe it or not, this thing is coming from possibly the most underrated developers, and if you have any doubt whether if it's gonna worth the price tag, there is a dude. All games now are listed as demo today. Assuming that's a good thing, you choose a class, gather rabbit companions, and then you just battle all the way through. Moving on to number 17, almost there. Announced a little over 6 months ago, Peacemaker over here is a classic JRPG, well, halfway inspired by the Land Greasers, and another half of, as you can see, Fire Emblems, and most importantly made in both 2D and 3D graphics, like the triangle strategy. So you basically play the role of a surviving princess, and you have to gather companions, eventually save the kingdom. Play this game on Steam as a demo, the full game is coming out by the end of the year. And last but not least, yes, since March this year, Terra Memoria has met some of the most positive reviews on Switch and on the consoles, and we highly recommend it if you grew up playing games as unique as Dark Cloud. First off, it's a turn-based RPG adventure, just the same, with a lot of walking around and exploration. It's definitely inspired by Final Fantasy and Chrono, albeit humans and anthropomorphic animals coexist. 10 out of 10 art style, amazing world building, just enough grind.